Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those new here, my name is Nikki. I'm an author and editor and I post videos here on YouTube about writing, editing, reading and all the other things I love. Today we're here for an AuthorTube tag and it is the An Author's Life for Me tag. This was created by Sarah Ella and Sarah Crawford and I will put a link to the original video below for you. So we've got 10 questions to get through, so I'm going to crack straight on. Number one, what kind of writer are you? My first instinct to respond to this question was a poor one. I'm not making a huge amount of money from writing, but assuming it's meant in a different way, I'll say that I am probably a multi-genre author. I have a strong focus on paranormal fantasy, but sometimes those are contemporary settings, sometimes historical, sometimes I write straight contemporary or historical. I've done an odd bit of sci-fi, even a murder mystery kind of plot in one story. So a bit of everything, and I write between sort of male-female romance to LGBT, mainly gay romance. Number two, when did you start writing and what made you want to try it? I've always wanted to write since I was a child. I loved books from a young age. As soon as I learnt to read, or even before I learnt to read, I had my mother reading to me. And I always wanted to write my own book. I didn't really get around to trying it until later in life. I was in my late teens, early 20s when I started with fan fiction, and it was only in my early mid-20s that I first attempted to produce original writing for publication. I think before then I was always too worried that it wasn't going to be any good until some friends read my fan fiction and said, look, you could really do this. Number three, what inspires your stories? My inspiration comes from many places. Some stories have started as dreams, others I'm watching something on the TV, and there's another book I'm reading and something will spark an idea about a sort of what if question, what if this was different and this happened instead, and a story idea will come from that. Number four, what themes do you like to explore in your writing? I think I explore things like identity quite a lot. Particularly I have quite a few stories where characters' minds are invaded by a second person or another entity, and I really like looking at that struggle between self and trying to keep control of who you are. I like to look at family related conflict at times. I also really enjoy the sort of enemies to lovers kind of tropes and things like that as well. Number five, are you a pantster, a plotter, a bit of both? Mostly a pantster. When I start a story, I generally know how it will start and end, and I have a few notes and character. I do quite a lot of character planning, but not so much plot planning. So the only time that's been different was when I wrote Blood is Forever, which has a bit of a murder mystery element and relied a lot on things happening on certain dates. So I did have to timeline that one more than I would for other stories. Six, where are you at in your journey? Querying, agented, published. I'm published. I've been published by a number of small presses over the last few years and done a tiny bit of self-publishing as well. Seven, have you entered any writing contests? No, from memory I don't recall ever having put anything into a writing contest. 8, who are your writing heroes? Authors that I love definitely inspire me, people like Haruki Murakami, Milan Kundera. I mean, I'd love to be able to do what the two of them do, but I'm always too nervous to attempt anything that's outside of standard genre fiction. Within genre fiction, I really love Chelsea Quinn Yarborough's historic vampire novels. I think she has a brilliant blend of historical research and fantasy elements. Number 8, have you been to a writing conference? No, I've never been to one. Mainly because where I live here in Adelaide, it would involve a huge amount of expense and travel to go out to any of them, and I can't afford it. And number 10, the top 3 tips for newbie writers. Don't be discouraged if at first you don't succeed. Writing is something that you keep improving the more you do it, so just keep on writing and you'll get there eventually. Number 2, write what you love, because if you're really enjoying what you're writing, you're going to be more encouraged to keep going with it. And finally, if you are going to self-publish, absolutely have your work edited before you go to publication. So those are my tips, and that wraps up the An Author's Life for Me tag. Questions are below if you want to give it a try yourself. I'll end there for now, but I look forward to seeing you all again very soon with another vlog. Bye for now, everyone.